Welcome to Sacred Psychedelics, the world's first Indigenous hosted psychedelic podcast. I am your host, a fifth-generation medicine woman, Xochitl Ashe. In this podcast, I share the wisdom of my ancestors while facilitating powerful conversations that teach us how sacred plant medicines and psychedelics can support personal, community, and earth transformations. I am grateful that you are here. May these shares and stories serve as healing medicine for you. Welcome back, beautiful family. This is a very special episode, one that marks both an ending and a beginning. After years of bringing you the Sacred Psychedelics Podcast, today I am announcing an evolution, a transformation that feels both necessary and deeply aligned with where we are collectively finding ourselves. Before I share this new direction, I want to express my profound gratitude to each and every one of you who has journeyed with me through the Sacred Psychedelics Podcast. I want to thank our listeners and also our guests. Your openness, your questions, your stories have created a community that honors these ancient medicines and their potential to heal our disconnected modern lives. After doing this work for more than 30 years with plant medicines and fungi, I've come to understand that their most important work has been to reconnect us to the earth and therefore connect us to our true nature, which is living in harmony with the spirit of Pachamama, Mother Earth. When I began this journey, psychedelics were deeply underground, spoken about in small circles, and yet we've witnessed an incredible reemergence, scientific research returning, therapeutic models developing, and a cultural reawakening to these sacred tools. Yet something feels incomplete about the conversation we're having. As Indigenous people, we've been talking about this time on Earth for generations, and now we're actually living it. These aren't just prophecies anymore. They're our present reality. We're experiencing right now what our elders foretold. And I believe that psychedelics, plant medicines, and fungi are here specifically to support us through these challenging times. Let me be clear about something fundamental. Psychedelics all have a spirit and personality, and most importantly, they are a tool. But it is how we use this tool that makes the difference. A tool can build a home, but it can also destroy it. I've seen this duality play out in the psychedelic ecospace. There's been a lot of disregard for the Indigenous people who have been guardians of many of these medicines and the ways to work with them. Well, I've seen that people are now acknowledging these Indigenous communities in their work, and that is a move forward. I'm still witnessing very few BIPOC leaders in positions of power. When I started this podcast, I was the first Indigenous hosted podcast focused on psychedelics in the world. It's honestly surprising to me that after 3 years of doing this work, our team recently did a thorough search online and discovered that I am still the only Indigenous hosted podcast focusing on psychedelics. That speaks volumes about representation in this space, even as psychedelics move more into the mainstream. We are currently experiencing a lot of censorship around psychedelics on big platforms such as Facebook and Instagram. And with this new administration in the US, we are yet to see if there will be changes in terms of legalization. But these challenges, while important, are just a symptom of a larger issue that I've been feeling called to address. I believe that we are experiencing and living through a massive, complete change, not just in the conversation around psychedelics, but in every aspect of human existence. The conversation about psychedelics needs to evolve beyond just personal healing It's about how these medicines are a powerful spirit and tool for us to create the world we want to see. The conversation about psychedelics shouldn't just be about ingesting these entheogens for our individual growth. We must talk about our community evolution. I truly felt restricted and limited in what was once very, very inspiring, which was conversations about psychedelics bringing the sacredness and indigenous lens. I've also been running into significant limitations with the sacred psychedelics framework. There were incredible people I wanted to invite who had vital information that could help us thrive during these challenging times. But due to censorship and professional concerns, they couldn't or didn't want to openly share about their psychedelic experiences. These voices became silenced in a space that was meant to amplify wisdom. Beyond that, I wanted to invite guests to talk about issues that keep showing up in mushroom ceremonies, things that are affecting us now and will continue to impact us as these drastic earth changes unfold. One topic that came up over and over was money and our relationship with it. So many of our ancestral burdens and traumas are tied to financial systems. This is healing work we all need to be doing, especially now as economic structures are shifting so dramatically in real time. But whenever I tried to bring this up, it felt like people thought it was too far removed from the core psychedelic conversation. The truth is, healing our relationship with money is deeply entwined with our collective healing journey. I also found myself drawn to guests whose primary focus was community healing, work that sometimes would involve psychedelics, but often wouldn't. These perspectives on rebuilding human connection in fractured times felt essential, yet didn't quite fit the podcast's established framework. I feel like conversations need to be bigger, much bigger. This is why starting today, this podcast is evolving into the FutureProof Earth podcast. FutureProof. This term I heard at the beginning of last year for the first time from one of my friends who's an entrepreneur. This word has been used in a few circles and hasn't hit the mainstream yet. As of now, FutureProof is being used primarily in technology and advancing that technology. The official FutureProof definition from the Oxford Dictionary is FutureProof, designed to continue working or to be effective after changes that may happen in the future. But what the current concept of future-proof isn't considering is how we can create a life where we thrive in harmony with the earth. In other words, a truly future-proof earth. But here's what concerns me deeply. If you're not in this small circle of privileged individuals, many people don't know what's really coming. We're going to be flooded with robots, and many jobs are already being taken over by AI. Humans are in the midst of a new era, the intelligence era. This new era, or the AI age, highlights the dominance of artificial intelligence, automation, and data-driven decision-making, reshaping industries, education, and daily life. So what does this have to do with psychedelics and plant medicines? Everything. These medicines reconnect us to earth wisdom at precisely the moment when humanity needs this connection the most. They help us remember who we are beyond our jobs, beyond technology, beyond the artificial constructs that are rapidly shifting beneath our feet. Now, with Future Proof Earth podcast, I can have people talk about psychedelics when that's relevant to their work, but I'm no longer constrained by that framework. I can invite guests who can help us navigate these times where we need the most help and guidance, whether or not their wisdom comes through the lens of psychedelics. The world is changing faster than many of us can comprehend. We need to come together. We need diverse perspectives, including Indigenous wisdom keepers, technological innovators, community builders, financial healers, and yes, those working with plant medicines and fungi in ethical and sacred ways. It took me several months, to tell you the truth, to decide on this new direction. I wondered if you wanted to continue this journey with me, but honestly, I can only explore psychedelic conversations for so long without addressing the bigger transformations happening in our world. I believe that if my intuition and inner guidance are pulling me towards this expansion, many of you must be feeling a similar call. I deeply value each of you who listen, your wisdom, your perspectives, and commitments. My hope is that you'll remain with us because you recognize that we're creating together a vision for a thriving future that you're excited to help build. On this new podcast journey, we'll expand our conversations well beyond psychedelics while still honoring their sacred teachings when relevant. We'll explore how Indigenous wisdom can guide us through unprecedented technological change. And we're going to maintain our humanity in the AI age. We're going to discuss our complicated relationship with money and ecosystems as part of ancestral healing, share practical approaches to future-proofing our relationship with Mother Earth, and amplify voices that have been marginalized or silenced, but whose wisdom is essential for the times ahead. I don't have all the answers. In fact, I don't believe any one person has the answer about how we are going to proceed during these times. I don't even believe that one culture or one people are the wisdom keepers of how to walk on this path with what is coming. I believe we all have a piece to add to the puzzle, and I find that these conversations are so important because we need to bring as many people together to seek for solutions and answers. The FutureProof Earth podcast has the intention of being a resource for people who may feel lost, afraid, or confused at how fast everything is moving. It can also be the light at the end of the tunnel, a podcast that keeps the vision alive of what is possible for us. This is something we can put our energy more into, a bright and incredible future rather than a dystopian one. By expanding beyond the psychedelic framework, we can now explore crucial conversations that were previously difficult to have about money, ancestral healing, about community resilience in times of technological disruption, about practical wisdom from those who couldn't speak openly in the former context. I believe that the core lessons from plant medicines, connection, community, harmony with natural systems are precisely what we need to navigate this intelligence era with wisdom. But we need to hear from many voices, including those who may never have sat with these plants, but whose wisdom aligns with these fundamental truths. I invite you to continue this journey with me, to bring your questions, your wisdom, your concerns, and your hope. Together with diverse guidance from many sources, including these ancient plant teachers and fungi friends, we can navigate this intelligence era in ways that honor all life. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your open hearts and minds. I can't wait to explore these new territories with you. Until next time, remember that the future of the earth depends on how we show up now in this present moment. Together, let's create a future worth living into. So much love. And I will see you very soon in the new episodes of Future Proof Earth. Lots of kisses. May Pachamama always guide your way. If you've enjoyed this episode, the best way to support Sacred Psychedelics Podcast is to subscribe and leave us a review. To stay updated on our legal psilocybin retreats and learn more about plant medicine, fungi, and ceremony, visit the show notes and sign up for our newsletter. As a special gift to our podcast listeners, you can download my free ebook, Bridging Worlds, Indigenous Wisdom for Microdosing Mushrooms, while you'll learn how to integrate Indigenous wisdom into your microdosing practice. Once again, I'd love to thank our sponsors, Microdosify. Listeners can take 10% off anything in their shop. Just enter the code SACRED. Thank you for connecting with me today, and may your life be filled with medicine and magic.